Hi everybody, it's Nick again. Welcome to week 2 of my Fusion 360 Flexible CAD class. I hope you've had an opportunity to play around with the software and to create some geometry and some parts and check out its functionality. Today we're going to be creating a 3D model of some bicycle handlebars, complete with hand grips. So let's get straight to it. Okay, everybody, so we're in a new model file. In the design environment, I'm going to go and save this as bicycle handlebars into the admin project in the cloud. Hit save. So we've got a fresh new design file now. Okay, so I'm going to go right ahead and create a sketch. I'm going to pick this front plane. It brings it normal to view. Now, looking at the sketch tools last week, we were just able to sketch in 2 dimensions, so either on a flat plane or a flat surface. For these, we're going to need to create a 3D sketch. Now, when this sketch palette comes up here, if you notice at the bottom, there's a 3D sketch that's unchecked. I'm going to go ahead and check that. Okay. Now that's going to enable me to start sketching in 3 dimensions. So when I hit line, you'll start to see these kind of additional control functions coming up. Okay. So I'm just going to create 3 lines, just like that, and hit finish sketch. So right now we've just got a 2D sketch because I just sketched it all on the same plane. Click on front to bring it normal to view again. I'm going to go to the history tree here at the bottom, right click that sketch and edit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to dimension this just yet. What I'm going to do, if this end of the line here is the end of the handlebars, if you like, I'm only modeling half of this for the moment. I'm going to take this line, I'm going to right click it and hit move copy. I'm going to spin it round, I'm going to move it backwards from its plane by 30 millimeters and hit enter. Okay, so now we've got this 3D sketch basically. The other thing I'm going to do is right click on this end and I'm going to move copy and I'm going to move that a little bit by 15 degrees in this plane here. Okay, and hit enter. So I'm going to go normal to the front view again. Now I'm going to add some dimensions to these. I'm going to make that line 65 millimeters. I shall make this line also 65 millimeters and this line 55 millimeters. I'm then going to put 2 fillets on, one on that corner, one on that corner, and I'm going to make that a 40 millimeter radial fillet and hit enter. Okay, so now as you see, we've got this kind of funky 3D sketch shape. Okay. Now I want to sketch some geometry at the end of this path, either end. Is a kind of, isn't a suitable plane in our origins. So I'm going to have to create a plane. So if I go up to, sorry, if I finish the sketch first, I go up to construct, and I'm going to put a plane along path as we did last week. I'm going to select this path, and much like last time, it gives me a decimal place along the path. I'm going to make that 1 so that it's right at the end, or I could make it 0 and it will be at the other end. Okay. So now we've got a plane perpendicular to the end of that path. I'm going to sketch on that plane, the newly created one, and I'm going to put a circle there. And it's going to be 10 millimeters in diameter. Zoom in a bit, and another one inside it, which is going to be 6 millimeter diameter. And I'm going to finish the sketch. Now I'm going to use the sweep command. I'm going to keep it on single path. It's asking me to select the profile. So I shall select that annulus there between the two circles, and then I'll hit select path and I'll choose the path. And as you can see, we've got the start of our handlebars. I'm going to keep the operation as new body and hit OK. All right. Now I am going to mirror that or reflect it. If I go to the mirror command, pattern type is set to faces, or it's defaulted in this case to faces. I'm going to choose bodies. And then I'm going to pick the body as it's asking me to. Select the object. And I'm going to click select the mirror plane, and I'm going to choose this end face just here. And hit OK. There we go. Now for the handle grips. So I'm going to create another sketch on this end face. And I'm going to make a circle of 10 millimeters. And another one of 14 millimeter diameter. And then I'm going to finish that sketch. Now I'm going to go to the extrude function. And I'm going to select, again, those two circles to give me the annulus. And I'm going to type, I'm going to go backwards, so -40. And I'm going to choose the operation as a new body, so to separate it out from the actual handlebars. And hit OK. And then I'm going to sketch on this outer surface, the part we've just made. And I'm going to click a further circle. Which will be, sorry, start that again. Delete that sketch. Try again. Sketch there, make a circle. And make that 12 millimeter diameter. And finish the sketch. And I'm going to extrude that. I'm going to have to pick both of those for the moment. So what I shall do is create that as a new body. and I'm going to extrude it 5 millimeters. Change that back to new body and hit OK. I'm then going to go and use, in this modify area, this combine function, because this is a standalone body. I'm just going to combine this body with the main handle. So the target body is this, and the tool bodies is that, and it's a join command. Okay. Now I want to put like a knurled effect on the hand grip. So what I'm going to do is to use the coil tool. I'm going to sketch on that face, choose the center, and make it 40 millimeter diameter end. Okay. So the diameter is set at 40 millimeters, the outside shape. I'm going to make the section size 1 millimeter. I'm going to make the revolutions 0.5. The height will be -40. So I want it to go back into the part. And it's not going to be a cut, it will be a join. No, actually, I'm going to make that new body and hit OK. Sorry about that. If you just hit join and then hit OK, just go back into the coil here, edit the feature, and you can change that back to new body. Okay. I then want to reflect this new feature on itself. I'll show you what I mean. I need a plane going straight through the center here. So I shall first of all make a plane tangent to this face. I'm not going to change the angle, I'm just going to say yes. So you can see that plane is touching that face now. I'm then going to offset this plane I just made by 14, -14. So we've got 2 planes either side of this handle. Say yes to that. And then finally do a mid plane, and I shall select these 2 planes. Hit OK. Now I don't need these outer planes, so I'm going to right click and show hide, right click and show hide. Oops. It doesn't delete them, it just hides them. Now I'm going to go back into the mirror function, and I want to mirror a body, which I shall choose this helical feature, and the mirror plane I shall select is this one in the middle, and hit OK. Once I have that, I'm going to right click this plane and hide that also. If it doesn't disappear immediately, just click into the background and it should disappear. Now I'm going to use a brand new function that we haven't looked at yet, which is pattern. It's under create, and I'm going to do a circular pattern. I'm going to change the pattern type to bodies so I can pick these 2 objects. It wants me to select an axis here, and I'm just going to choose any of those circles, because it should recognize that that's the center. The center of the circle is the axis. And how many of these? I'm going to make 40. Okay. And the type is fully around. I could set that to in some angle, 180 degrees round. I'm going to make it 360 degrees and hit OK. And as you see, we've got this knurled effect. Okay. Now, these are all individual bodies now. So what I need to do is join them in to the actual handle itself. So if I pick combine, I'm going to pick the target body as the handle. Now I'm selecting the tool bodies and I'm just going to drag the window round to try to capture all of those at once. That's going to take a little time. And once this is completed, I can go and reflect or mirror this handle via the center so that it reflects it onto the other side. So it tells me in tool bodies now that it's got 80 selected. That makes sense. So we had 2 and we made 40 copies of 2. And I'm going to keep the join operation on and hit OK. Again, this may take a few seconds. I apologize for my processing power. So after we've reflected this handle grip, we're then going to take this part into the render mode and assign some material and see how it looks. Okay, I think that's pretty much done now. So I should be able to mirror that across the central plane. I haven't joined these 2 handlebars together yet, so I can do that afterwards. If I go create mirror, pattern type is bodies, I'll choose a handle. I'll select the mirror plane to be this central section there and hit OK. And there we have some modeled handlebars. Now I'm just going to go and combine this side with this side. So now we should have 3 bodies. Okay, so the handlebars are 1, 2, and 3 for each of the grips. Okay. I want to assign some material before I go into render actually, so I'm going to go down to the modify pull down, go to appearance, and I'm going to open up, so if I've got Fusion 360 appearances, I'm going to open up metal and aluminum, or aluminium in my country, in England. And I'm going to choose aluminum polished, and I'm just going to drag that onto this part. I'm then going to go to plastic, and I'm going to drag ABS white onto each of these grips. And that ABS white shows up in the design. This is all the materials that are used in this design. I'm going to double click it and turn it almost black and hit done. And there we have our handlebars, but we're not quite finished yet. I'm going to go into the render mode out of design environment. Gives you a slightly better view. I downloaded a rally bike logo just from the internet, first one I found, just to show you this decal setting. I can insert that from my computer. It's just on my desktop. There it is. Click that, hit open. Now it's asking me to select a face to pop that onto. I'm just going to choose the central section of the handlebars. There you go, you can just see it there. Slightly too small, I'm going to make it 1.5. Scale it up in X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm happy with that. You can play around with the opacity, but we're not too interested. Just hit OK. And there we have our handlebars. And as before, we could do an in-canvas render. We could play around, first of all, with the scene settings. You can change the environment and the light source. Okay. I'll leave you to have some fun with that. And just hit in-canvas render. Let's twist that a little. That starts giving you a sort of a presentation type image. It takes a bit of time, but we'll get slowly towards excellent. But for now, I'm just going to stop that render. So those are our handlebars. And finally, I shall go back into the design environment and save the model file. Just give it a version description. Hit OK. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I look forward to seeing you in next week's video, number 3, where we will be modeling up a piston for a car engine. Look forward to that. See you next time. Bye-bye.